Welcome to the True Crime Never Sleeps podcast, where we take a deep dive into some of the most captivating true crime stories from around the world. In this episode, Murder Monday, we dive deep into the disturbing case of the murder of Christy Mirack, a beloved school teacher and respected member of her community. Christy's life was cut tragically short in 1992. We're going to explore the background of this remarkable woman, the discovery of her murder, the investigation, and suspects involved in the eventual identification and trial of the killer, Raymond Rowe. We will also examine the impact of Christy's death on the community and how it highlights the importance of seeking justice for victims of violent crimes. But first, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Audible, for sponsoring this episode. If you're a fan of audiobooks from any kind of genre, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, historical fiction, autobiographies, the list is endless. Check out Audible today, audibletrial.com/Larry21, and get yourself a free audiobook of your choice. Without further ado, let's dive right into today's episode. Christy Mirack was a beloved elementary school teacher who was born and raised in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. She was known for her warm personality, her dedication to her students, and her passion for education. Christy graduated from Millersville University with a degree in education and soon after began teaching at the Worston Elementary School in Lancaster. Outside of work, Christy was an active member of her community. She was a devoted animal lover and often volunteered at local animal shelters. She enjoyed spending time with friends and family and was known for her quick wit and sense of humor. She was also an avid runner, participating in marathons and other races in the area. On the morning of December 21st, 1992, Christy failed to show up for work, which was extremely unusual for her. Concerned coworkers called her home, but there was no answer. When one of her colleagues went to her house to check on her, they found the door unlocked and Christy's lifeless body on the floor of her living room. The discovery of her murder shocked the community and launched a long and arduous investigation into her death. Christy's friends, family, and colleagues spoke highly of her character and her impact on those around her. Her death was a tragic loss for her community and for all who knew her. Despite the passage of time, Christy's memory lives on as a testament to the power of love, compassion, and dedication to others. On the morning of December 21st, 1992, Christy failed to show up for work at the elementary school, like we previously mentioned. Like we said, colleagues and friends became concerned. A colleague found her door unlocked and the body on the living room floor. The Lancaster City Police were called to the scene and immediately began investigating the crime. They found that Christy had been sexually assaulted and strangled, and there were signs of a violent struggle in the living room where the body was discovered. There were indications that she had been attacked as she was getting ready to leave for work, including a cup of coffee that had been left on the kitchen counter and her shoes still on the floor by the door. It appeared that the attacker had entered the home through a broken window in the rear of the house. During the initial investigation, police found several pieces of evidence at the scene, including fingerprints, hairs, and fibers. They also collected biological material, including semen, which they hoped would lead them to the killer. Despite a thorough investigation and several promising leads, the case remained unsolved for more than 2 decades. The discovery of the murder was a shock to her community and colleagues, who had known her as a kind, dedicated teacher. The brutal nature of the crime only added to the horror, and the police faced intense pressure to find the perpetrator. Although the investigation would take many twists and turns over the year, the initial evidence collected at the scene would eventually play a crucial role in identifying the killer. The investigation quickly began immediately after her body was discovered on December 21st, 1992. The police department assigned a team of detectives to the case who worked tirelessly to uncover any leads and evidence that could help solve the crime. Despite a thorough initial investigation and several promising leads, the case went cold for many years. In 2002, DNA profile was developed from biological evidence found at the scene of the crime. It did not match any initial suspects, but the case remained open and the police continued to investigate. Over the next 10 years, new forensic techniques and databases helped narrow down the list of suspects, and in 2018, the police announced a breakthrough in the case. Using a genealogy website, investigators were able to identify a suspect in the case, Raymond Rowe, also known as DJ Freeze. Rowe was a local DJ who had performed at a Christmas party at the school where Christy taught just a few days before her murder. The police obtained a DNA sample from Rowe and found that it was a match for the DNA evidence found at the crime scene. In 2019, Rowe was arrested and charged with the murder of Christy. In 2019, Rowe was arrested and charged with the murder of Christy. He pleaded guilty to the crime and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The trial brought closure to the case of Christy's family and friends, as well as the broader community. Rowe's guilty plea and conviction were seen as a victory for law enforcement. And a powerful reminder of the importance of using all available tools to solve crimes and bring justice to victims. The case of Raymond Rowe and the murder of Christy Mirack is a chilling reminder of the power of DNA evidence and the importance of never giving up. The successful use of forensic genealogy in the case has sparked new debate. And discussions about the ethical and legal implications of this powerful technology. It has also highlighted the potential for solving other cold cases using the technique and underscored the vital importance of continuing to invest in and develop cutting-edge forensic tools and techniques to help bring closure and justice to families of the victims. The murder had a profound impact on our community. Christy was a beloved and respected elementary school teacher, and her loss was felt deeply by her students, colleagues, friends, and family. Her murder was a senseless tragedy that shocked the community and left many feeling vulnerable and afraid. The long search for her killer took an emotional toll on those who had known her, and many people in the community were left wondering if justice would ever be served. Despite the passage of more than 2 decades, the Lancaster police never gave up. The case was one of the longest-running cold cases in Pennsylvania, and law enforcement officials pursued every lead and every piece of evidence in their quest to identify the killer. The use of DNA evidence was a key factor in the eventual identification and arrest of Raymond Rowe, and highlighted the vital importance, like we said, of using all tools available to solve crimes and bring justice. For those who want to learn more about the murder of Christy Mirack, there's a number of resources available. The book, The Teacher's Pet, The True Story of a School Teacher's Murder and a Shocking Crime of Passion by Greg Olson, offers a detailed account of the case and the investigation that eventually led to the arrest of Raymond. There's also several podcasts and documentaries that have delved into the case and provide even more insight into the lives of Christy and those who worked tirelessly to bring her killer to justice. The murder of Christy is a reminder that even in the darkest times, there's always hope for justice, and that the human spirit can triumph over even the most heinous of crimes. Let us know your thoughts on this case in the comment section below. As always, give us a thumbs up if you like our video, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support the channel, buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/TCNS. Your support helps the channel grow. We can upgrade our equipment, bring in new hosts, be able to pay them, and hopefully take this show on the road someday. And your support can help make that happen. Whether it's $1, $2, $20, $50, $100, any amount helps. And as always, thank you so much for supporting the channel, watching and listening, and we will see you next time.